Welcome to the exciting universe of marijuana. Here we will be discussing some historical events, economic issues, health, and the recreational use of marijuana. The history of marijuana. Christopher Columbus was a great explorer who is given credit to finding the New World. Amongst many things he brought, he was the first to bring marijuana to the newly developed continent.
Time travel!
George Washington, the first president, had a number one crop. This crop was, of course, marijuana.
The number one crop for the number one president.
Time travel!
We must go back to the future.
The first law against marijuana was passed in El Paso, Texas. Here there was an overwhelming feeling that marijuana led to Mexicans having superhuman strength since they smoked after working hard in the fields all day. This idea was enforced when a, meaning singular, Mexican attacked a group of European white people.
Wait, would you like to buy some oranges?
After this, the law was passed, not merely to regulate weed, but to regulate them Mexicans. There were three individuals that started the war on drugs, each of their own time: Anslinger, Nixon, and Reagan. Anslinger was the leading cause of all the hilarious propaganda that some people actually took to be serious.
What is he saying? I don't know, but he's got a megaphone, so it must be important.
Nixon sent a lot of custom agents to the Mexican border, but literally found nothing. So he just decided to create the DEA, which had the power to search houses without knocking first. How rude. Reagan started the third war on drugs. His resulted in an individual getting arrested every 38 seconds. Now we get to Prop 19. This proposition would have relieved all the stressors in our society. It would have regulated marijuana just like tobacco and alcohol, but it didn't. It failed. Controlling and taxation. Lately our economy has been going down the drain, dragging us with it. As calculated, there can be a $14 billion revenue just from marijuana alone. California has been banking on marijuana since 1996. They have been raking in about $3 billion annually. Marijuana is a weed that has spread around the world. Controlling it has been proven difficult. However, when medical marijuana was legalized, it lowered the amount of teenage users by 47% in California. It also allows the state to have more control over the trading of marijuana, which is a big problem for the bordering states of our nation.
This is my controller.
I kill you!
Medical. Medical marijuana is very beneficial to numerous ailments. This include cancer, glaucoma, muscle pains, and HIV. A case study shows Gene, a 30-year-old AIDS patient, probably would have died by now if he had stuck to his legally prescribed medication. Gene took roughly 30 pills a day to enhance his immune system, suppress his nausea, and stimulate his appetite, but his body wasn't responding the way his doctor felt it should. At one point, he became severely depressed and bedridden, and was told he had less than 3 months to live. That is when he decided to use marijuana to help improve his physical condition. Doctors point out that Gene's cancer went into remission. His HIV had been suppressed and he had improvement in his immune function. They go on to state that the most important change was that he had a decent quality of life, recovered his appetite, and could join his wife and child at the dinner table.
Pass the butter, please.
Use of marijuana does not only help with the treatment of AIDS, but people with multiple sclerosis have also reported that the use of marijuana helps with the treatment as well. One of the major symptoms of multiple sclerosis is muscle spasms,
Kill you!
causing tremendous pain to the individual, but the use of THC decreases these symptoms, allowing the patient to live a less painful life. Therefore, if marijuana were legal in the United States, it would be to the benefit of those people facing life-threatening diseases because it can be seen as a form of palliative care.
Marijuana versus tobacco and alcohol. Marijuana should be legalized due to the fact that THC is no more detrimental than tobacco and alcohol, if used in moderate quantities. Tobacco and alcohol are both legal and commonly used in the United States, as well as regulated by the Food and Drug Administration. If the abuse of marijuana is harmful, isn't the abuse of tobacco and alcohol equally life-threatening? According to the 2006 statistics released by the Center for Disease Control concerning deaths due to alcohol, the answer is yes, with a total number of 22,073 fatalities. Similarly, in 2000, leading causes of death in the United States were illnesses related to tobacco use, in which a total amount of 435,000 people died. In contrast, there has been no conclusive evidence linking the consumption of marijuana to the deaths of users. When comparing these statistics, the overriding conclusion that many may find themselves making is that tobacco and alcohol are far more dangerous than marijuana. This may lead to questioning the logic behind continuing to ban the use of a drug that has not been directly linked to causing the deaths of users. Along with this low mortality rate, the violence resulting from illegal dealings with marijuana would be cut down if it were legalized and regulated by the federal government. Taking it off the black market would decrease the value of the drug and would pressure drug dealers to discontinue their dangerous smuggling practices. This in turn would reduce the numbers of innocent individuals that risk their lives. On top of this, if citizens were allowed to carry regulated amounts of marijuana, law enforcement could focus on more serious offenses rather than dealing with petty misdemeanors due to marijuana. Altogether, these benefits would make our cities safer while appeasing the popular demand for the drug.
In conclusion, marijuana has been used in the past by those that we admire. It has a numerous amount of benefits in the medical field. Legalizing marijuana will help the economy of California by taxation. It will also decrease the amount of illegal drug dealing and cost of the arrest. It is clear that marijuana is less harmless than the current legal substances that are available. Say yes to legalizing marijuana, and may one day help you one way or another.